Is it going to count? Oh, no, it just started.
Oh.
All right, no count.
Right.
Okay, we're in.
Well,
We're in.
welcome to Not
Today,
Today,
Demon. Oh my god, I forgot the name! Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah, for real, if you haven't noticed already. I guess we should start with a little introduction.
Yeah. Who are you? Who are you? This woman in this room.
Me, I'm Breann.
Oh,
Who are
God.
you?
It's nice to meet you. I'm Carson.
And so, I guess this podcast, in general, will be about horror movies, books.
Spooky stuff.
Yeah, alien. I mean, whatever you
Alien,
could think of. Like, just the stuff that's unexplainable, we want to talk about it.
The stuff that makes you go,
yeah.
The stuff that we always end up talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
All
so
the time.
Why not record us talking about it?
Yeah, and put it out for the world to hear our idiocy.
We're that narcissistic. That
Oh my God.
We think the world cares.
Literally. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, am I egotistical? And the answer is yes.
I mean, really. I mean, you have to be almost to do this type of thing.
Yeah, you do. I mean, like a little bit.
Yeah, because if you don't like yourself, or if you... You're good.
I was like, in the middle of me talking, I was like, oh, I better make sure, like, it is recording. And it is. So, we're good.
Yeah. Just that. But yeah, so I want to know what got you.
What got
you into
what got
you?
What got you?
You're not you. But what got you into the horror scene? What made you interested?
I don't know. I do know that it's like when I was younger, I was petrified of all things spooky and scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so how I got from there to here, not 100% positive. I don't know if... Okay, I remember like the first like scariest movie that I went to see was The Uninvited, which is like almost more of like it's like mystery thriller horror.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if it was like that sort of genre of like it's more about like the mystery and the thrill, and then that developed into like I think I'll watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So I don't know how I just dove head first into this, but I did. And now here I am.
Yeah.
I guess now I like it more because I think the horror movies, and I guess things that are spooky anyway, they explore sort of like the like taboo, dark, interesting subjects, but also they evoke fear and that sensation that you don't get with anything else.
Yeah.
Or much else.
Right. That adrenaline rush that you kind of get from them.
Yeah.
That's what got me, like, that hook. Like, I love just that rush from anything, but, like, so this is just a simpler way to get it. Like, I don't have to be active. I can sit on a fucking couch and do nothing and still get that rush.
Yeah. It's like a contained sense of anxiety.
Yes.
But it's also great because, like, then it lingers out. Because,
it really
you watch
does.
a scary movie and then I'm like, obviously, I am going to die. Like, the demon is going to get me!
But joke's on the demon. We've watched enough movies now. We can beat him.
We know how to take care of demons.
Exactly.
That, oh my god, podcast idea. We go somewhere demonic and we cleanse it.
Yeah. Because that always works out. That's not how every horror movie starts, with a bunch of idiots that think they can handle that shit.
Here we go!
We can do it.
Yeah. Obviously, we know how to do it.
I mean, I've seen Paranormal Activity, so I know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, hold on. Okay, but then how did you get into the horror stuff?
I mean, honestly, I think it started with... Well, growing up, I watched the, like, sci-fi TV shows, like the Sci-Fi Channel, and the shows are stupid, but my grandpa was super into them, so I would catch myself just to spend time with him, watching them. Mm-hmm. And then, when I was like 10, I watched, The Ring, which is, but, which that, really, I didn't like horror movies after that, like, it just, because you're that young, you're watching something, and then, when we started hanging out more, freshman year in high school, that's when Paranormal Activity came out.
Yeah.
And we as a group watched that. And then it was like from then on, like those movies were such a hit within our group.
Yeah.
I think. And so we just stuck with horror movies. Like we just did horror movies. And then so I think that's just, and then from there, like, I stopped being so scared. I mean, you're kind of, I get scared during it, but not afterwards anymore. It's more of like, I like the story. I like the idea of where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, where would they get that inspiration for those stories?
Yeah.
So I like looking more into that.
Yeah.
So I guess it just developed over time.
Yeah.
You appreciate them more. I don't know. I'm not huge into the gore movies, honestly.
No,
like Texas Chainsaw or Saw.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just
when they get too bloodbathy.
Yeah, I just don't.
I'm not really into those slashers, but then there are some that I do like the kind of classic Nightmare on Elm Street and like Friday the 13th.
I love Nightmare on Elm Street.
But I guess those are sort of like the old idea of slasher, whereas like now it's like literally how much blood can we put in?
Yeah,
whereas
I just recently watched a newer, I think it's like 5 years old, if that, but it's a newer version of Texas. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning is what it's on Netflix, and I just watched that the other day because I was like, oh, and I watched it, but like, it got to the part where he's like chopping, and it's like, I just don't find that it's not interesting. Like, it just grosses me out. Like, I don't get grossed out. I don't know how to explain it. It just isn't something that is enjoyable to me to see that.
Yeah.
Like, the idea of... I mean, it's based off of real stuff. That was a real murder spree that happened.
Oh, yeah. It was Ed Gein, wasn't it?
I think it was a family. It was a family in Texas.
Oh.
But he might have been... Maybe he was like the Leatherface, you know, the guy that's in the movies. I'll have to. We can maybe look more into that and talk about that more sometime. But
yeah. But until then, we'll talk out our asses.
Yeah. Don't look it up. We'll tell you later.
Don't fact check us. We don't want to hear anything. we everything we've said is correct the first time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Don't doubt us. But yeah, so like that part of like how did a family become so nasty and like murderous and like that intrigues me, but like the actual like him showing all the I just don't care for that.
Yeah, it's not
my thing.
It's often pretty distasteful, I think.
I think so too.
Like just gross out. Gross out horror I'm not into.
Yeah, me either. We tried watching Saw a while back ago. It was us and a few other, or it was us and our friend.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if we finished it.
I know that we watched the first one fully.
Yeah, we were gonna try and watch all of them.
Yeah, and I know, I can watch the first and second Saw movies, and I actually really like them, even though they're pretty gross. But after that, like, they just it gets
franchisey.
Yeah, but also, I'm such a hypocrite, because I'm like, The Evil Dead, have you ever seen those?
No.
Those are pretty freaking gross. But
you like them.
But I like them, and
I think it has to do with the plot and
the tone.
Yeah,
I mean, Evil Dead. Welcome to the Evil Dead podcast. No, I'm just kidding. It's like pretty lighthearted and like meant to be kind of funny, almost, like in its excessiveness, rather than the ones where it's like, look how gross we can make it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Because I totally agree, because I think the first Saw was interesting, like the idea of a serial killer being like, oh, you think you hate your life? Let me show you something. And it's like, oh, psych. Like I did appreciate it. I think, yeah. I didn't mind it. Just not my favorite style, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a new Saw that had come out, I think, recently already.
Is that the Jigsaw?
Jigsaw. I never went and saw it, but
no.
It looked, again, it was like, it's the same idea, so I'm like, maybe now it's newer and like redone, maybe it'll be good, but it probably is not.
Probably. I mean, as we will come to find out, we like to think that a lot of things are going to be good, and then they don't. Okay, wait, before this Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning, was that the one that we went to go see?
No. I don't remember watching Texas Chainsaw with you.
We went, I want to say it came out in like 2014 or something.
I haven't seen this movie up until the other day, so it wasn't one we went together to, at least. But did we go to a Texas Chainsaw together?
We did.
Oh my god, now I'm starting to kind of...
You're starting to remember? Because we got 3D glasses from it. It was a 3D one.
Oh god, and that probably made it worse. I hate 3D movies.
I
hate them. They are not good.
They're not even like a thing anymore, are they?
Not really, because it's not good.
Yeah.
And you're gonna pay extra for them. Why would I? No. I'll just go to the regular movie.
Yeah.
And the glasses are uncomfortable. They hurt my eye. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
I avoid them.
But I am positive we went to go. It might have just been called Texas Chainsaw 3D. But it was like a revamp.
I think
because I remember because I went in first because I was 17 and you weren't, and I went to go buy tickets and they're like, we need the ID of both people, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta go, bye. They were so...
That scarred me though, because when I went to buy us tickets for The Nun,
yeah,
I was like, oh, they're gonna ask me, because I was like 2 tickets, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna ask me for the other person's ID, and you're not there, you weren't with me. And they don't care now. But back then, I don't know if maybe I looked older, so she just didn't care. Because I think you have to be 21 anyways to buy. So it's not a big deal now, because I'm over 21. So I think you had to be over 21 to buy for a minor.
Oh, good. And you had to but you had to sign a waiver and stuff.
Dude, my mom had to come.
The amount of times your mom claimed me as yes, she is my guardian. I think they had us pegged.
Oh, they knew.
I'm almost positive.
How many movies did we go to back in the day?
Oh, we went
rated R movies.
So many too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm almost positive they had to have us pegged because we tried to get into every scary movie that we basically
and we knew better, and we still tried.
We're like, we'll figure it out. But they're like, this time they won't get us.
Yeah.
And they were like, give us the IDs.
Yeah.
God.
Like, Mom, come to the theater. God, good thing we got there. Back in those days, you had to get there early. But that's the thing, I don't think they're as crazy about it now. Because, I could order tickets online.
Yeah.
And I don't have to prove that I'm over. I mean, granted, you'd have to be over 18, I think, to have your own... No, you won't. You don't have to be over 18 to have your own debit card.
No. I don't think.
Nah, I was 16 when I had mine.
Yeah. But when you buy tickets online, sometimes you have to go in and, swipe your card, and that's when you get them.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's, then they're,
No, because I do it through the machine. I don't even go to a person anymore. It's different now.
Oh, wow. Kids these days, they can just sneak into some R-rated movies so easy. We had to get our parents to come and buy us
embarrassing. So, I had to call my little scoop, Mom, come pay for it. And my mom would get so mad. And we knew it was going to happen every time, but we always thought this time we'd get through.
Yeah.
This time, they always, no matter what theater we went to.
Yeah.
Because the town we live in, there's multiple theaters.
Yeah.
And we must have gone to enough that they're like, these little... we know you!
Yeah.
No, please! But yeah, I think nowadays, I don't think they care anymore.
I really don't think either.
Which,
unless you look like you're 4 years old.
Right. Which you're brave enough to go to those movies. Have fun, man. I'd let you go.
I respect you. Here's your ticket.
Oh, God. Oh. But, yeah, I think rules are different nowadays, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, should we get to the nitty-gritty?
Are we getting into do we get into the meat?
The meat
of the podcast.
Do we?
So, yeah. Do we? You know what? Cancel this podcast. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about The Nun, which we went to see last night. We are going to talk spoilers.
Yes.
Although, I don't even think it matters, because I don't think anybody should even go see this movie.
Yeah, don't pay money to go see it in theaters. Let's start
this off. Don't pay to see this movie.
No.
I think the situation in which you should see this movie is it's on Netflix. You have a friend or some friends over, and you just sit there and you have a good time, and you make jokes about it. Because the best part of that movie was our commentary.
Oh, for sure. The whole thing. And that's my favorite thing to do in movies is just be like, this dumb bitch. Or
I'm like, where did she get that candlestick?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, if you don't want to hear spoilers, You can leave, but come back. Come back and listen.
Go see it. Don't pay for it.
Yeah.
But then come back and listen.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Or just listen if you don't want. I don't know why.
I mean, if you don't care.
These are the boundaries of which you can listen.
To me,
to
spoilers don't actually spoil a movie because like I don't
Honestly,
mind
same.
hearing it and then going and watching it.
Yeah.
Because
It gives me a different, arguably better perspective.
yeah,
because
you know
then,
what to look for.
Yeah, because there have been movies where I see it the first time and I hate it because I was like, it's either exactly not what I was expecting, which this movie falls into. Was not what I was expecting. But then you go into it the second time with the mentality of you already know what's going to happen or whatnot.
Right.
And then I watch the second time and I'm like, oh well, I guess this wasn't that bad.
Right.
Which part of me thinks The Nun might fall into. If I watched it a second time, I might like it better.
Yeah.
I don't think I would love it,
Yeah.
but I might like it better.
Yeah. I think it's like if I were to watch it again, I can definitely want to pay to go see it again. I'd wait for it to come out, maybe get it off of Netflix or like you said, Netflix, Hulu, whatever. Watch it with my family in the living room and like I love gauging people's reactions when I've seen a movie already and making somebody watch it.
Yeah.
With me afterwards. So
Just making sure we're still going. Okay, that wasn't happening. We lost the last 12 minutes!
But, so, yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's not the worst, like, it's still a higher caliber horror movie. Because I think there's calibers of horror.
Yeah.
And you get those ones with the really bad actors and actresses, and then you get some that are like, okay, decent plot, but the acting's not there. Or the acting's kind of there, but there's like, the plot is just stupid. Or, like, there's calibers.
Yeah.
So this one, the acting was pretty good. The acting was good.
Yeah. I don't think the problems came from the acting.
No. For me, it wasn't the acting. It was the little mistakes. I think it was sloppy writing. For me, I think it was.
Yeah, that's
sloppy
exactly.
writing.
Yeah. That this whole movie was lazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was lazy and it was dumb and it was not loved.
Nah.
And
you could tell.
They just and you could tell. That's exactly it. It was. I agree with you with like the calibers of different things. Like this movie wasn't unwatchable.
No.
And it wasn't so stupid to the point where it was like I just turned off and I was like I could do anything else right now.
Right. Like I still was into it.
It was engaging.
Yeah.
But it was dumb.
There was a lot of overkill parts. I think nowadays movies make the mistake of showing the best parts in their trailers.
Oh yeah.
All the best parts
in
their trailers. So it's like when they had released closer to when the movie came out, they had released that longer trailer where it shows the priest in the casket or whatever underground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, God, that is freaky, because I hadn't seen that before, and then they just released that, and I was like, God, that is like freaky. Like that is like one of my worst nightmares. Nobody wants to be buried alive.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's gonna be good. And then when I actually saw that part though in the movie, I was like, this.
Yeah.
What? Maybe it's because of the way he got into the casket. Because in the trailer, you don't know why he's in there. He's just in there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's creepy. But then it's like, in the movie, you know how he got in there, and it's like, pfft, okay.
I don't even remember how he got in there.
Well, he's following that little dead boy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, Daniel.
Oh, he
okay,
he pushed in.
This is what bothers me. In what world do you see a kid you know is dead?
Yeah.
You start following it. Clearly, it's leading you somewhere because it's running away from you just far enough you're not going to catch it, but you know he's there. And he's talking to you, obviously leading you somewhere. Like, nobody does... Like, I don't like movies that do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, oh, follow me. Like, nobody follows a ghost like... No, like, if I saw that, I'd run away from it. You don't, or go back to bed, or something. Just ignore it. I don't know, but I wouldn't follow him into a graveyard.
No, not the like. This is a child that I saw die.
Yeah,
but
he knows it's dead.
Now I'm like, oh, I'll fall.
Yeah,
it just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
and I didn't like it, and it was done. Did we need to give like what the movie's about? Did we need to say that?
We should probably do that. So The Nun is based off of, if you've seen The Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
The Nun is the main protagonist? Antagonist. The main antagonist in that movie. It's a demon that takes the form of a really creepy nun thing.
Which is inexplicable in the second movie.
You don't know why it's a nun.
You don't know why it's a nun.
It just is.
But it's scary.
Yeah, like you don't care that it's a nun because it's a creepy character.
Yeah.
So like this movie was needed in a sense because we did all like that character.
Yeah.
And so it gave us the why is it a nun thing in this movie, I mean,
okay, so this movie is like this priest and this seemingly random nun from... Well, she's not even a nun. She's not a nun at this point.
Not in the beginning for most of the movie.
From a literal random...
School?
School? Oh my god, the bookshelf just creaked. We're about to die. Live.
The demons don't like us talking. Not today, demon. Not during this podcast.
Oh. So, this priest and this not yet a nun girl go to this castle, because it's a castle. Which brings me into one of my critiques, which is 95% of this castle must just be basement.
Yeah.
Because we saw, 4 rooms?
Yeah. And that thing is huge.
It was monstrous. It was like Dracula's castle.
Yeah,
and there's 4, just itty-bitty rooms, but then, hallways upon hallways upon hallways of basement. And I'm like, in what world? What is this?
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll get there.
They go to
Tell the story.
they go to this castle where this nun has committed suicide, and the shenanigans happen. Then they find the demon.
I mean, that's the premise of it,
That is the
and it's
premise.
just them being messed with by this demon. It takes it's a span of 2 days. The whole movie is 2 days.
Yeah, it really is.
Because they show up, and then the lady's like, you need to leave the castle because the nuns are taking a vow of silence, but go to the convent and you can come back tomorrow and you'll find your answers. Which, now knowing God, I feel like we're skipping around. Okay, if you haven't seen this movie, it's probably going to be a little confusing, but if you have seen this movie and you're listening to this, you're gonna get what we're saying. So, when they come into this castle, nobody's there. Nobody answers the door. They just walk in. And then they're, walking around, and you see behind the girl this black cloaked figure. Go figure. No face, it's just black and cloaked, sitting behind this girl. And so automatically you're like, oh my god. And then she notices her, and it doesn't talk for, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're like, hello? Hello? Getting closer. And then finally it's like, I'm the Revenant Mother, or whatever the hell, and it's like, okay, so it's real, it's okay, so why did you not talk 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
First of all, you just sat, that was stupid in my opinion. And so she's like, yeah, they're all taking a vow of silence, you have to respect that, as, that's their thing. But go to the convent and then come back. But you find out later in the movie that this old lady, wasn't even alive the whole time, she wasn't real. Why did the demon make them leave to come back? Because it was the demon's the demon was controlling this apparition, if you want to call her that, whatever she was.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what is a real... Okay, we're good.
Okay, so we're back.
Oh my god.
We're still figuring this out.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had issues. It's okay. We'll get there.
Okay.
So, as we left off, in the movie, you don't know what was real and what wasn't real. And it's still not clear, even when you figure out that some of the things weren't real the whole time, you still don't know what was real and what wasn't real.
Yeah.
Or how, because they weren't real, but they could still hurt you. I don't like that. If it's a vision, it shouldn't be able to still hurt you.
It shouldn't be physical.
Yeah. It should just be something that scares the poop out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. So when the fact that, that one lady that wasn't real grabs him, remember her arm grabs him?
Oh, yeah.
And then it's the arm's still there, and then it's gone. But he could,
Yeah, they interacted, the actual characters interacted with these, vision things in a weird way.
Yeah.
When we're not even sure what was real and what wasn't, and what was a vision and what wasn't.
Right.
And not in the way that it's it's trying to be ambiguous and you don't know what's real. It's just
It's just randomized.
Yeah, it was just like it was random. They didn't plan this out.
It was random, and it was utilized in a sense to make their job easier as writers.
Yeah.
I think it's like, this would be really scary, but we don't actually want it to have an effect on anything. We just want to put that in to scare people.
Oh yeah,
I think that's literally what it was.
Yeah, and on their drawing board, that they're like, here are the scares. He is locked underground in a coffin.
Yeah.
And he can't get out.
Yeah.
Like.
And the nun's in there with them.
Yeah. There's a bunch of nuns, but they all have like black faces.
Yeah.
And they come and they like run at him, and like it was just them trying to like figure out how to make those all into a narrative. Yeah. And it didn't work.
Which I didn't think the blackface nuns were scary at all.
No, that wasn't scary at all.
I think having faces on them would have been scarier than just the blackface. I don't think that had done anything for me, and I think they were random, and I think they were stupid.
Yeah, and they didn't. They not only did they not serve any purpose, they didn't even serve a scare.
And that's the thing. Here's the thing. When I'm in the moment of a movie, I am very easy to scare. Like the jump scares and the suspense, that does get me in movies, no matter how many I watch. Like, that's still gonna scare me. The fact that didn't even freak me out even remotely, that says something.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very easy person to freak out in the moment of a movie.
Yeah. And our mentality is we want to be scared.
We want to. Yeah. I'm not going to purposely try and think something stupid. I'm going to try and find something good in that movie.
We will play along with the movie when it is trying to be scary.
Right.
Even when it's like the stupid jump scares, which is exactly what this movie was, where you know exactly when it's happening because the eerie music, which I thought the music at points was actually kind of good.
The deep voice, like,
that is singing.
Yeah,
like,
that is creepy.
That was good.
Because I thought that was creepy in The Conjuring when they used that music with this character.
Yeah.
I think music and sounds have so much to do with how creepy, like in Insidious when they have that tiptoe through the tulips. Ooh. To this day, I get chills listening to that song because it was such a
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. I think they did a decent job with the sounds.
But those
it was lazy.
But it became, it was like that creepy music and you're like, all right, I'm here, something's gonna happen, and then it goes quiet. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like I've never seen a horror movie before.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Like, it's nothing original. Like, they're just pulling it out their butts just to do it and, like, get it done. And,
yeah. This was just like all those other scary movies.
Yeah.
That just lackluster.
Yeah.
Just lackluster.
Like, and when, since it's the same franchise as The Conjuring and the Annabelles, not that the Annabelles were, like, the Conjurings, I feel like, were just in a league of their own. Those two movies. They just did a good job with them. And I think the plots were pretty good. Like, I liked them. I didn't find a ton of holes in it, and so when you have that, like, you're comparing, I automatically was comparing this movie to that caliber. So maybe going into if you go into this movie thinking, oh, this is going to be good. I mean, even when I was telling my dad, I'm like, dude, like, I was even freaking out thinking about going to this movie because I thought it was going to be that scary.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad's like, well, you don't go into the movie thinking it's going to be that good. You're just going to be disappointed. Go into it thinking it's going to be bad. And I should have. But like I said, I think the trailer showed all the best parts. So I was like, maybe there's more even that they aren't showing.
Mm-hmm.
No. They showed all their best parts. I knew every part that was kind of creepy. I'd already seen it in the trailers.
Yeah. And it just... I have my own problems with the Conjuring movies, like the first and the second one. Yeah. I don't think they're perfect, which I'm like, is there a movie that is perfect?
Right.
Not really. And the more I watch them, the more I can sort of pick apart, like,
that's true,
some of the problems with them, like, but I still like them because they're just enjoyable and they're I don't want to say fun because I don't think that's exactly the right word. Maybe it is the right word. Like, The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, they're fun horror movies. Mm-hmm. And they were loved and cared for, and you can tell. Mm-hmm. Because, like, that's what comes across. Because even though they're not perfect, and I think they do have some holes, and they have some glaring problems, but they're so enjoyable to watch. And that is not what this movie, The Nun, was. This movie wasn't loved.
It was just a hodgepodge of
give a shit about putting this in the hands of people who could make a good movie. They didn't care about making a good movie.
Right.
I mean, the only assumption I can make is that it was just like a money grab. Like this movie was made to make money, which I mean, all movies really are because they want to make money. But like, you can do them well. They did them well with The Conjuring.
I could have waited one more year. I would have rather have waited one more year to get the best possible movie out of it. Like that's the point. Is like they wanted money right away, and it's like if you would have put a one more year's worth of work and editing and even before you started filming, if you had to put in a little more effort into the writing it down, I almost think maybe Conjurings turned out better because they had already had the stories down because they're based off of true events, you know?
Yeah.
So they'd already had the premise of the stories down and they had all those parts already there and they just had to throw a little bit extra in to make it a movie. In The Nun, they started from scratch. I mean, they had the character already. They already had that.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest peeve is when you have a good character you had so much to work with. The Nun is creepy. You had so much you could have done with that. And you did this?
You did this.
I mean,
okay, but even with The Conjuring 2, it is almost like The Conjuring 1, but like just tweaked to make it different. Like the setup is basically the same of them being
big family
in the house.
Can't
they
afford to go anywhere.
Getting haunted. Let's bring in Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why they couldn't have just even done that with this. That was, I mean, and you were talking about it yesterday about would this movie have been better with like the nuns actually being there? Like it could have been a haunted house story, but put in a convent. Is that what they called it? This castle with the nuns in this convent.
I agree. I honestly think having more people that were so in the movie, the visions they show finally after however long they show live nuns, people that are alive.
Oh yeah.
And nuns that are talking and interacting with them.
Oh, and they came late in the movie.
Yeah, like they were just not there. So in my head, I'm like, they're all dead. And she was like the one that kills herself. Like she was the last one. And she was the last one. But so I automatically was like, well, if they're not there to greet them, they're not talking to them, they're not doing anything with them, they must just be dead. And then all of a sudden they're there and they're functioning, but they're private. They're like, oh, we're private. And I'm like, but that doesn't explain why you didn't greet a fucking priest.
That are there to help you?
Yeah. So I'm like, that didn't make sense. And then she's alive and she's explaining the whole backstory of how this demon got into the castle in the first place.
This See, and then this builds on we don't know what's real.
Exactly. So this nun, she's explaining the backstory to the main girl of the story, and she's helping her. She's explaining to her how the demon got into this, where he came in from, and how they defeated it the first time. And so were they ghosts that are helping because they were helping her, or was the demon just to me? Why would the demon create a vision to help the nun?
Yeah.
Like, what purpose did these nuns that were supposedly functioning and alive?
Yeah. These nun side characters that we come to find weren't real are somehow they're aiding the main characters, and they're able to like give them the exposition backstory that they need to understand like where the demon came from. And it's like that it doesn't make sense if the demon is talking through these nuns and it's like, here's how I came to be.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't work.
Right.
This movie crumbles on itself.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, the more you're like, what purpose did this? Like, they just threw in stuff and they just had one of the worst parts for me, and it could have been so good, is when she's by herself and she sees the mirror, but she sees the shadow of the nun.
Yeah.
And it's traveling and it's getting close to her. And there's like these... And she turns into the mirror and there's a bunch of the black-faced nuns behind her. And then it screams and breaks the mirror. And she's like, ah! And then she's fine. Like, it was like... That was like one of the worst parts for me.
Yeah.
Because it was like such a creepy part. And any normal person, if that would have happened, I would have been... game over, like can't function anymore because that's so creepy. but like that's the only part where I had an issue with the acting.
Yeah.
The actress really failed in making that a believable, scary part. Because I can't even remember what she did after. I think she just leaves.
I don't even think she even screamed. It wasn't until she was getting chased in the basement that she was like, ah! Like,
yeah.
The other times it was just her like,
like that
and
type
she
of
just
stuff.
walks.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Girl.
Like, no way. I'm sorry, but a thing looking like that, walking around you, messing with, nah. You would have been messed up. Anybody would have been freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Act like it.
Yeah,
that was really disappointing. So maybe the acting did have a little bit to do with it.
But
there's more than just the acting.
The characters were horrid.
Yeah.
They
were not good.
Let's see, what is it that I had written in my notes? I have, oh no, the guilty savior priest.
Yeah.
And then the blank slate nun. The most interesting thing about her was what she was wearing.
Yeah.
And then we haven't even talked about the French man.
The French man that's just in Romania, because that's where this takes place, is Romania.
Which I'm like, a great place to set.
Yeah, because it's very, because it takes place in 1952.
Yeah.
So it's not like super old, but it's, not a newer, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Modern?
Not modern, yeah, either. So it kind of explains how they functioned, some of the way they functioned. But I hope that picked that up. What was I trying to say? So, yeah, it takes place back then. I don't even know where I was going with that.
Characters were terrible. The French man, who we learn is named French. He goes by Frenchie.
Goes by Frenchie.
Which, I thought that was an offensive term.
Frenchie?
But maybe that's me being overly sensitive?
Maybe.
It seemed weird.
Well, if he's actually French, then it can't be offensive, right? I don't know, but he's not actually French.
Yeah, I don't even
Who
know.
knows?
But he was his character trait was that he wants to...
He's a player.
Is that all he does is make advances...
On women.
On I don't even know the actress's name. Her name is like Tessa Farmiga.
Yeah,
Tessa Farmiga?
Isn't she from American Horror Story?
Yes.
She's
younger sister of Vera, who was in The Conjuring.
Yes, yeah, that's her. Maybe that's how she got that role. I mean, I like her in American Horror Story, and I don't mind her as an actress. I didn't think she did all that good in this movie.
No, and I thought that they would make some connection to Vera and her, like as they were relatives. They didn't, which I was fine with. I mean, I wasn't. I was expecting it, but not. I didn't necessarily want it.
Yeah.
But, excuse me. Yeah, Frenchie is just like, oh man, that nun, she's so hot. It's just, and it was gross.
Yeah.
And he was not redeemable, but then he plays a bigger story, even though he shouldn't. It was just...
Like, the longest time, you just think he's just some character that they threw in there for the sake of convenience, honestly.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of the movie, you realize, oh, he is tied in to the Conjurings. So in the beginning of Conjuring 2, no, in the first Conjuring, it shows Ed and Lorraine giving a class, and they show a video of them doing an exorcism on a guy. And in the Conjuring 2, Lorraine is all messed up because the guy, when she touched the guy, she had seen something, and she wouldn't tell Ed what she had seen, but it really messed her up or whatever. So this movie explains Frenchie is the guy in that tape. Because, of course, Frenchie ends up getting possessed by this demon, and then nobody knows it.
I guess. Yeah,
and that's how the demon gets out of the abbey.
Even though, again, spoiler alert, the demon is defeated by the end of The Nun. Yeah.
So, again, you're stuck in this spot. So they happen to have a relic. Conveniently, they left the relic in this abbey that contains Jesus Christ's blood, and that's the only way to seal the portal that the demon had come out of.
Which I did think was a cool detail.
The
blood of Christ. I was like, oh, all right,
that's
we're
cool.
here.
And they do I think they do have relics like that in the Vatican. Like, they have those certain things. I don't know. But, like, so that's a plausible thing, and it makes sense. Jesus Christ's blood seals a portal or gets rid of the demon. Makes sense. So they conveniently still have that in the Abbey. Hundreds of years. This is hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
When the original guy. So basically, the backstory of this castle is this duke built this giant castle, which this thing is huge. I'm sorry, but it's huge.
Yeah.
And nobody had that big of a
Hogwarts.
nobody had that big of a castle.
Yeah.
Back in those days, because the amount of manpower and money needed to build a castle like that is unreal.
In this kind of random Romanian countryside?
Yeah.
Or forest?
Yeah.
Don't quite really know.
Mountainside. Yeah.
So strange.
So he builds it, and then he's super into the occult, I think, and, Satan worshipping, and he wants to summon this demon, and he pretty much gets there, and then the soldiers of the Vatican come in and they kill him and they seal it up before this demon can come out. But that portal's, like, little bit of it's left. Like, it's still there, it's functioning, but it got sealed. So all it needs is apparently to be broken open. So, of course, the war happens, the World War II happens, and this countryside gets bombed. And the bombing causes the seal to open up again. And that's how the demon comes back. So when they defeat this duke, they plant nuns in this abbey who have to continuously pray all the time to keep the place, the evil at bay, even though it's sealed up. So, and they're praying did jack. The whole thing was, we gotta constantly pray to keep this evil at bay, and it did nothing.
It did not. It did.
Because they all die.
Yeah, because they all died.
Killed. They all.
I don't even know.
I don't
know.
We don't, because we see one body.
Yeah.
But we don't see any of the other. Like, we see the body of the girl that gets hung.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, you see in the very beginning 2 nuns.
Yeah.
And one of them is the girl that hangs herself, and then this other lady who gets sucked back into where the nun's seal was. That door goes into that area.
Yeah. Well, okay.
The mapping of this building is so confusing, I think.
Yeah. Oh,
it was like, how did they get there? What
room's attached to what?
Yeah.
And what? Okay. What were the nuns doing at the beginning of the movie? I still don't quite understand.
I don't know what they were trying to accomplish. Well, they had the key, and I'm thinking the relic was put when you open that door. It says God lies here. It says God.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Wait, God
ends here. And I think the relic is in a wall in that corridor. But the demon gets the girl, and the other girl stays on the other side of the door praying, and the older lady goes in by herself, and you hear, and then she pops out of the darkness, and she's like, take the key. It's up to you. You know what you have to do. And then dies.
Yeah.
And so, here's another flaw. I just thought of it. So the girl's like, she's like, has to kill herself because the only way for the demon to get out of the abbey is to overtake a vessel. And so to not be this demon's vessel, she just goes and kills herself, and she has the key in her hand. And the key was like this bit. They needed the key to get the relic.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. But why wouldn't the demon? The demon can obviously go out on the grounds of this abbey a certain distance because it was messing with the guy in the graveyard and messing with Frenchie and blah, blah, blah. Why didn't it take the key and hide it? Why did it leave it in the dead girl's hand for the people to find and use? Like, the key was like this all-important thing. But yeah, that's what those nuns were doing.
So I thought, okay, so they go to that door in the beginning of the movie, and they, like, use the key to open it, and they're like, we have to get the relic. And so, like, the one nun goes in, and then when she comes back out, she gives the key to the waiting, praying nun. I thought that was the relic for, like, a hot minute, and then I was like, that's just the key that you used to open the door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nothing was accomplished.
No, they did nothing. Like, why did she go in by herself? I don't know. I don't know what the whole point of any of that was.
I don't even quite know what the point of this movie was. Because, as I was also thinking, I was like, 2 of my major things were, one, why did I think this movie took place in like the 17 or 1800s? I thought this was a period piece. 100%.
I did too. It looks like it.
Yes, that's.
But he does explain in the beginning. Frenchie does. He's like, "Oh, you're in Romania. This is
like almost ancient."
Yeah, it's like they just don't have. They aren't developed, and maybe they aren't. Maybe they aren't as developed at this point. They're maybe considered a kind of a third world country, Romania.
I have no
because
idea.
he's going by horseback. Not horseback. They use carriage to get there. They don't even use vehicles, but there is a vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, they have vehicles in this country, but they use a carriage to get there, and the horse won't go any farther.
Yeah. So
like
I don't. Yeah. So I was already confused when they're like when it comes up with the following took place in 1952. I was already thrown because I 100% thought that this was like straight up 1700s, which I think would have made a more interesting movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I thought that this was going to be the reason. Like, this movie was going to be the reason of how this demon came into being, how it came to take the form of this nun.
Mm-hmm.
That was not what this movie was.
No.
I don't even know what this movie was. This movie wasn't a possession movie. It wasn't a mystery, really, even.
No.
This movie wasn't anything.
It was literally a hodgepodge of stuff, and they just threw it together, and they're like, here's this creepy character that everybody latched on. That's what the nun itself was a character we all latched onto from Conjuring 2. We all thought it was a creepy entity.
Yeah.
And they were just like, how do we exploit that?
Yeah.
Well, that's all it was.
I guess it was a haunted house movie, technically. But it was like
in the people.
But like in the worst way of them. They're like they enter into this castle and they're like.
So you're saying there was no point, basically, to the movie?
Yeah, there was no. Yeah, it was them going in and being like, "There's scary things. How do we stop it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's this demon. How do we beat the demon? Okay, we beat the demon.
Yeah.
Okay, it's over now.
Yeah.
But
it's not, because the demon's inside Frenchie.
But it's not. It tries to pull a twist ending on you, because guess what? The demon, although we saw the demon get defeated...
That's the thing one of the things that bothers me most is the demon has the girl, like, it's possessed the girl, which is what it wanted the whole time, because that was going to be its vessel. Frenchie comes in and it tries to stop her. And he gets some blood, Jesus' blood on his hand from the relic and wipes it on her face. And the demon comes out of her. And she runs off or whatever. He tells her to run. She runs off. And it has her. Or it grabs Frenchie, starts choking him or whatever. And you think it's killed him. And then...
I wish it would have killed him.
Yeah, I think that would have been better. I didn't
care about him at all. I just wanted him to die.
Yeah, I didn't mind him, but it was like, okay, whatever. So you think it's killed him, and she, like, falls into this water, and it comes up out of the water, and is, like, trying to kill her now, even though, don't you need her to be your vessel? Like, why are you killing her? I guess. So she's killing her, and she somehow, while she's in the water, gets a ton of blood from the relic, Jesus' blood, in her mouth.
Which I still don't know how she... I don't even know how this relic opened.
She broke the little bit of the glass, but
it's still intact?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was the cross in it
how do you get stuff in your mouth underwater? How do you get just blood in your mouth underwater? And then... And she got all of it. None of it stayed in the water.
Yeah.
And then, how did the demon not see her doing that? Because, the water's clear. She's not that far deep. Like, you could see her. The demon could see her. So he didn't see her putting the blood in her mouth. And then when he lifts her up out, she spits it onto this demon. And he's like, whoa! And the blood goes into the water. And the water is covering the seal. And... it seals him, so you show the demon like fading away, crumbling away, and the seal getting sealed up again, and supposedly all is well. And Frenchie's alive, and I think so you think the demon got sealed back, which, again, if they had done that, though, that would have kind of that would have brought up the questions, how did he get into The Conjuring 2? Like, they couldn't have ended it that way either. How they should have ended it is all three of them die. Or she does end up becoming the vessel. Frenchie and the priest get killed, and she is a nun that carries the nun. That's how they should have ended it. I don't know why they didn't just do that. You could have just killed everybody, and that's how the demon got out of there. The demon won in this movie. I mean, it did win anyways, but it won in a stupid way rather than the way it should have.
It won in a, like, you didn't kill me, though, kind of way. When it should have just been like, just kill them all. Yeah. Just kill them all.
Yeah, really. I mean, just do it.
Yeah.
Because none of the characters were really all that lovable.
No, I didn't give a crap about any of them. I don't care. If they would have died, I would have still not cared, but I would have at least been like, well, damn, yeah, all right. This demon's for real.
Like, it's okay to have the bad guys win in some of those movies. Because in this movie, like, the Conjuring movies, I get why they win. Because they do win in real life, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, but in this movie, they could have had it where the demon wins.
Yeah. And this movie, like you said before, like, with The Conjuring, they kind of have the basis of, like, what happened. They don't have that for this. They could have done anything.
Yeah.
Why is this movie the way it is? I want to fix this movie. We could have made a better movie than this.
Well, we're gonna have to.
We're going to. We're gonna make, you know what? Wait for the real nun.
Yeah.
And it's the real story.
We'll let you know.
Why? This movie could have done so many things. It could have showed how this demon came to be and how it became to be a nun. Which, as I'm thinking about it, is it supposed to be it's a nun because it sucked up this nun in the beginning of the movie? I don't
It's a
understand.
nun because it was in an abbey filled with nuns. Yeah, so that's why I did that.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's what that one nun tells her.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I see her walking around too.
She appears as a nun so she can, like, fit in with us.
And get close to you.
And get close to us. And it's like, how would you not know, like, where did this random nun come from?
I would have known. And you get that thing close to you, it's got yellow eyes and a big, you would know that's not a real person.
But dude, I don't even think these nuns know how many nuns are in there. They're not friends with each other, apparently. The one nun is like, we enjoy our privacy.
We don't even know how they really were, because I don't know if those were ghosts or the demon making them act that way. I don't know. Because in the one part, one of the other worst parts of this movie, where she's alone because, her and the priest think it's smart to split up.
Oh, yeah. Naturally.
For whatever reason. And so she's alone in this abbey, and there's a nun that's continuously praying, and she's in there with her, and this nun's praying, like panicky praying, and you see a body covered up with a white sheet, and she's like, oh. And she opens it, and it was the nun that had been talking to her earlier has been recently killed. And she's like, oh. So she starts praying, and then a bunch of other nuns come storming in. They're, like, locking up the room. And they're like, you gotta pray. Don't stop praying. No matter what you see or hear, pray. And then all of a sudden you hear, whoa! And all the nuns except the main chick get flown across the room. Some of them are killed, like their necks snap. And the other ones, some of them are okay. But so this girl, she doesn't stop praying. But the demon is cutting, like, one swipe after another. Yeah, a hexagram? Pentagram. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, hexagram. Have you ever heard of anything like that? No, Breann. Anyways, it's cutting into her body, but she keeps praying. Obviously, the praying isn't working.
Yeah.
Because everybody just got messed up. You're getting sliced to pieces on your shoulder. Even though you're praying, clearly that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, then the priest and Frenchie come trying to get into the room, and she goes to let them in. And she's like, I've been praying with the nuns. And they're like, what nuns? And go figure, there's no nuns except the dead body that's there. And they open it, and it looks like the body's been dead for months.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
And then it reanimates.
Yeah, and then it comes alive, and they have to set it on fire.
Yeah. In probably the scariest part of the movie was that, where, because you literally do think, you're like, all right, well, this is all an apparition, or it's a real body lying there. It's just been dead for so much longer. Mm-hmm. But then it pops alive.
Yeah, and it's like, wow. I kind of knew that was gonna happen though, because he brought that other nun back to life.
Yeah,
And I guess when you think of it, like in The Conjuring, the nun creates visions in The Conjuring 2 as well, like the Crooked Man.
Yes.
So that is maybe this demon's thing to create things that aren't real?
They mentioned that in this movie, where I think it was the nun who was talking to the main girl.
Uh-huh.
She said something about, like, it takes forms of, like, what scares you or whatnot. Did you, like, catch that?
Yeah, yes.
I did, and I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense. I'm like, that... Because then that fits into The Conjuring 2, where there's, like, different forms of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then I'm trying to make this connection of, like, oh, Tessa Farmiga. I still don't know. Is it Tessa?
Tessa
like,
Farmiga.
Is it like... It's like T-A-I-S... Whatever her name is. Farmiga. Her character, I was like, oh, is that supposed to be, like, this demon's taking the form of, like, this scary nun because she hasn't taken her vows yet.
Right.
And as we're seeing, like, in her interaction with Frenchie, I think, was supposed to be, like, this sort of... This notion that maybe she doesn't want to become a nun because then she can't, like, sleep with
And maybe
him.
that was what they were trying to get across, because then that stuff happened. She's like, make me a nun, Father. I'm ready to take my vows now.
But then it shows up as a nun for everybody.
Yeah.
So that doesn't even make sense.
It just stuck with that, I guess. That's just why it's a nun. It just stuck. Well, because it became... It just took form as that because there was nuns surrounding it, I think, and it just stuck with it.
I don't know. The logic of that with the logic of, like, it takes different forms to scare other people, I'm like, then that just falls in on itself.
Right.
Because then it's like, why does it not show up different for every single person?
Right.
Why does
I mean, to be fair though, this form isn't freaky enough.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm totally fine with it being like it chose this form because it's scary as heck.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah.
And I'm horrified of it, and I love it.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I don't know.
Just all in all, this movie was it lacked a lot, and it could have done a lot. And I think what really gets me, and what's really been bothering me about a lot of movies lately, like I went to Slenderman recently, is they had a lot to work with. It's a very creepy concept already. All you had to do was make a good story out of it. That's all you had to do as writers, and you didn't.
And you already know how to. You've done it with The Conjuring. Although, wasn't The Conjuring movies done by Blumhouse?
Maybe.
I thought they were. And I noticed that this movie had a bunch of... I don't know if they're production companies, distributors that I didn't recognize.
The Atomic Monster.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what? I've never seen that one before.
I've never seen those before. And I was like, is this
maybe
not necessarily... It's part
same.
of the Conjuring universe, but is it...
I think maybe that's maybe why I still think the Conjurings were in their own league compared to Annabelle's and this movie. Maybe they are different. Like, there's the same franchise, but different franchises all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Marvel. Marvel movies all have different directors for them.
Yeah.
Like, Thor was directed by a different guy than Iron Man, and that's,
Yeah.
So maybe that's how they're doing it with this type of franchise, is they still are keeping a different director? I don't know.
Marvel, at least, still, I guess... This is me talking out of my butt because I don't watch those Marvel movies,
I'm
but
obsessed with Marvel.
their universe is consistent with itself.
Yes.
Though,
well, it's all based off of the comics written by Stan Lee and a few other guys, but like they're all the
same. They're all part of the same consistent universe. Which this is trying to be, and it's not, and it
fell flat. It really did.
Flat. I wish. I would have been on board with this movie even if it tried to make some point about like the like horrible like patriarchy of the Catholic Christian Church.
Yeah.
Like, even if it did something like that. I was sitting in my room, and I think this like goes along with the idea that we wanted this movie to be so good because it's like we're not just like ripping it apart for what it was, even though we are doing that, but also I'm like, this is how you could have fixed this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, This movie could have been Farmiga, I don't know, is wronged by a priest. I'm like, let me pitch this movie to you. She's a nun in this convent, in this creepy convent. She's wronged by a priest in some way. And she renounces God, sells her soul to get revenge in some way. Maybe in a holy way she's like, it's so he can't hurt anybody ever again. But she comes to find revenge comes at a cost. Enter the demon.
Yeah.
That would have made a better movie than this.
Would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense. It would have been a better story. This
is what bothers me. I forgot to point this out earlier. So obviously she is she gets brought into this whole mess because of her visions. So the Vatican obviously knew she was having visions, and that they somehow knew her visions pertained to this particular event. They knew her visions would come in handy. How would they know that? How would they know? Well, Mary points the way. Maybe they knew they had left the relic in this place. Maybe they knew that. Maybe that was something that was passed down. And they're like, yeah, our ancestors had just left it there, so we know it's there. How would they know the statue has a light that hits the Mary's finger and then points to the keyhole? How did they know that? And if they knew that, why didn't they just tell them that? That's what doesn't make sense to me. The Vatican knew she was gonna help, or her saying the one sentence was gonna help this priest. Otherwise, she did jack this whole movie. Like, nothing she did really helped other than her knowing Mary points the way. So the Vatican obviously knew that was gonna help. Why didn't they just tell him, okay, so we're gonna have you bring this chick, but just so you know, Mary points the way. There's a keyhole in the wall. You're gonna find it. Put the key in there. We know this already. They obviously knew that. Why did they just skip that? Like, I hate movies, though, that it's such a simple step of just communicate, and all that would have been avoided. Write it in a way where, like, none of that could have been avoided. They had to go through all this hard stuff to get to this point, rather than if the Vatican would have just said, there's a relic in the wall, all you gotta do is seal it, get to that point, and you're good to go. Rather than, like, just have fun, buddy.
Go check it out.
Yeah, just go check it out. But we know what's going on, but we don't know. We don't know, bud. But we do know. That, I don't like movies like that anymore. It's lazy. I think it's lazy writing.
I think that is basically what this entire movie was. It was just lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just...
because they had so much to work with, and they just
didn't.
Yeah, they just chose not to.
That's the end-all be-all. Yeah. They just didn't make it good.
Yeah.
Well, because I cannot believe that they would have, like, made this movie and then, like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. This is The Conjuring 3. Yeah. It is this good. It's not.
It's not. And I wanted it to be like that, because I crave movies like that anymore. Like, so Insidious was the first one for me to really, like, get my blood pumping, and, like, this movie is insane. And then obviously that's worn off. I've seen that movie like 20 times now.
Oh yeah.
So it's like that's worn off. And then Insidious 2 kind of did it for me. Insidious 3 was okay. Insidious 4 was bad, Carson. It was bad. If you think this movie's bad, Insidious 4 was bad.
Oh.
So, and then The Conjurings, the first one and the second one did it for me. And then, the first Annabelle, it was kind of spooky, but not really.
Yeah, I sure don't
remember. The second Annabelle was awful. It was awful.
Which is really interesting, because that seems to be, like, one of the better ones from what I've heard in the series. Yeah, I couldn't
even keep focused on it. I got bored.
Oh, wow.
And then there were certain parts where I'm like, ugh. There was one part I remember in Annabelle 2 where she is at the well. She was going to throw the doll into this well to, like, get rid of it. And she's, like, running towards it, and you hear, like, doo doo doo, like, heavy hoof, but you hear him, like, dut dut dut, like, getting closer. That's freaky.
Yeah.
That was one part that stuck out to me in that movie. Other than that, that movie was just not good. I mean, it was okay. And, I think the context in which you watch those movies has a lot to do with it. Like theater, that's what makes me more mad though, is we saw The Nun in the theater, and usually a scary movie is about 10 times better in the theater because you're immersed in that world.
Yeah.
Because it's so loud and it's like there and it's dark and you're kind of feeding off of everybody else's emotions around you. Whereas if like I watched Annabelle 2 by myself in my room.
It's a different experience. I didn't realize how much I actually did miss going to a theater, to a scary movie in the theater. Was relatively busy, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Was it packed? Did it sell out? I don't remember.
I don't know if it sold out. I think it was pretty filled up, though. I mean, it just came out, so that's understandable.
So it was...
And it was blown up. Everybody thought it was going to be good. And I honestly, feeding off of the room, you just feel it when people are scared. And that theater could not have felt more bored.
No, I don't think I heard anybody
gasp,
scream, yell.
I didn't. And it was so easy. I cannot stress how easy it is to get me to be scared. That's the thing. And like, I get scared of movies so easily, and this movie did not do it.
If anything, the only thing I heard from other people was laughing. And that was not like little that were trying to be funny, which they usually are, and they're usually revolved around Frenchie. And they were so forced and they weren't funny. But it was like at the parts where they were trying to be serious, and we were like when he gets out of the coffin that he's buried in, and he looks back and sees like these books. What is his line? He's like, perhaps these books will give us the answers. And it was literally all of it. So many people in the theater were just like,
because did you notice though, the priest had an accent sometimes and then not really sometimes, and then I really couldn't place was he Italian?
I've seen that actor in a few other things, but I can't place.
He just had a weird way of talking, and sometimes he sounded like in an accent, and then most of the time he didn't to me. I don't know. It's just the whole movie was just on a scale. Let's do this. Scale of 1 to 10.
Oh man. Okay. I don't know.
Okay, so 5's halfway.
And that's probably what this movie was.
Maybe half a 5?
Maybe, I'd say between a 4 and a 5.
You would? Wow. Because I was going to go between 5 and 6. Yeah. For the sake of the character itself, helped it bump up a little bit. Like, The Nun being as scary as it is, helped it.
Yeah. Because I feel like, even though we are railing on this movie, and I think that this movie deserves to be railed on, because it's just not...
It could have been better.
It could have been...
The potential was there.
It could have been great. Arguably, it wasn't even good. But there were things that I still liked about it. Mm-hmm. I still think
Would I watch it again? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Would I watch it again? Yeah, probably.
Like, if I'm like, a friend hasn't seen it and they want to see it, I would watch it with them again.
I would call a friend over and be like, let's eat chicken nuggets and watch this movie.
I'm so hungry now. Dick
right? Like, it's that kind of movie. It's the kind of movie that you watch it again, but you're like, listen, this isn't good, but like, let's just roll with it. And then you'll have a good experience with it, I would think.
I think we went in with very high expectations, and I think don't do that. Just go in knowing that it's okay.
Go in thinking it's shite, and then be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Should we just give it a 5? 5 out of 10?
Yeah, let's give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 for this movie. Acting was bleh. Writing was awful. Character was good.
Oh, I would say character was awful.
No, character, the demon was good. Because the nun is good.
Oh, yeah.
The other character's awful.
Good. Yeah.
Basically, the nun... She carried the whole movie. She was out there working it by herself.
What? They could have gotten that actress to play. This movie could have been how this nun becomes possessed by this demon, and had that same actress actually do this, and then it would literally.
I don't think he's not possessed. That is the demon just taking that form.
Yeah. Oh no, I know that it is.
Oh, okay.
But like, this movie could have been like why it become like as if it possessed an actual nun, and that's why it takes this form of a nun.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Yeah, I would have been okay with that. I think they tried too hard and then also tried not enough.
They tried
Isn't
too
that-
hard and tried not at all.
Yeah, it's so how amazing is that? I mean, you gotta give them props for being so
mediocre.
awful. So mediocre. With such a big frame, like you had to fall. The amount people were raving about like how excited they were for this movie. So all in all, movie's 5 out of 10. Didn't keep up, I think, with the other movies in this franchise. I'm gonna keep calling it a franchise.
I
mean,
this was a spin-off, but I would say it's a franchise.
yeah. So it didn't keep up with them. Didn't hold its end
No.
at all. And I mean, go see it. I wouldn't recommend wasting that amount of money to go see it in theaters.
No. Oh my god.
Unless it's a movie deal day. And
You
you
can
go
if
see
you
it.
can yeah, if you don't pay full price, I would say don't pay to see this movie at all. But
Yeah.
I would say if you're so interested in this movie and you like want to see it, like you have to go see it.
Yeah, go experience
It's not going to be great.
Nah.
It's not. It's not even be good.
I mean, I've heard and even before we went and saw it, like you had said, a friend of yours thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter, people were just chewing it up and spitting it out, and were like, "This was awful." And I was like, like maybe these people just don't know what quality is. Oh no, they were right. Dang it.
Yeah, but also, you might go into this and love it.
Yeah.
I hate to think like to just be full on like don't ever go see this movie. Don't ever read this book.
No,
don't
I don't
ever
want
look
to
at this.
say that. Like, see it
Because-
at some point.
Yeah, if you are interested in it, if you're trying to keep up with the Conjuring universe, and you really like scary movies, I mean, go see it. Try to pay nothing for it. Just sneak
Go
it.
get yourself a date and go have them pay for you.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I mean,
Go do it. If you can't get to it in the theaters, wait until it's free on Netflix or something, and then have a friend over, have some friends over, have a good time,
Yeah.
drink some wine,
Yeah.
eat some food,
Yeah.
and commentate the entire thing, because
that's the best part, I think.
make it a good experience.
Yeah.
Because the movie ain't gonna do it by itself.
No, it needs some help.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, so we're done.
I think
talking.
we got our ranting out. I think we got the gist of it.
I know, yeah. I think we fully expressed our thoughts, feelings, and opinions.
Yes.
And even though I imagine that was the hardest thing to follow, and that's fine because it probably made about as much sense to this movie.
Yeah. So if you couldn't follow us talking about it, you're not gonna like this movie.
No.
we literally talked like how the movie went. But yeah, I guess we should plug in our Instagram and Twitter.
Oh yeah, go follow us on everything. I guess.
Yeah,
now.
it's Not Today Demon _ for Twitter and Instagram.
No caps.
No caps, just Not Today Demon _ and then we're gonna be posting this on SoundCloud. We're gonna get it on Spotify and iTunes, but it's Not
Hopefully.
Today Demon. Just look that up.
We make no promises about
Yeah.
anything.
Nah. Don't trust us.
No. Yeah,
But yeah.
so that
I think that will conclude.
I think we're done. I think we're
We need
done.
to be done.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Peace out.
Bye.